The Bitcoin ETF is canceled, and now Bitcoin is doomed for the short term. So what does this mean for you? And what are the key levels that you should be looking for and I'll be looking for to get back in? And most importantly, how long is this down move going to last? All that and more coming right at you. But first of all, where do I think Bitcoin is going in the short term? Now, a lot of you have been like, oh my God, the market's kind of freaking me out. I got liquidated, all this crazy stuff has happened, and that's okay. And you guys are gonna educate yourselves and you're gonna be fine. And I'm gonna teach you guys some things today that will help you through these types of times that will happen more than just once in this cycle. So first, we're gonna look at Bitcoin. I'm gonna give you some key levels that we're watching for. I'm gonna give you my analysis in the short and then in the mid and long term so that you guys are prepared. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you like and subscribe this so that you don't miss on all the other things that we're going to be releasing to help you get more educated and more in control of your life in crypto. So first and foremost, where does crypto go? Is the ETF canceled? Well, I asked you that question and I kind of forced it down your throat a little bit at the start because I wanted you to think about it a little bit and kind of disagree with me because even I disagreed with me. So let's get into it. Bitcoin, where is it going? Well, we did break out. We had the boner candle, which kind of started getting ripped pullback. So it didn't even look like a really strong candle like we had on this candle way back on December 4th. That was a really strong candle, which followed by another really strong candle, then got stopped out by the level. This one, and I really wanted you to understand that when we break out of these levels like we did in December, we generally come back to the level that we break out of, we retest it, and we go higher. So what happened yesterday is we came back down to the level I thought, but what happens is we had some FUD. The matrix support stuff, you had Jim Cramer came in 2 days ago, and I feel like he is kind of like this counter trading person who probably is signaling to other whales or something like that, because it's almost so impossible that someone could be so wrong so often that very likely he says one thing and is doing the other, in my opinion. So where are we going next in the mid to short term? So short term, we had a really strong pullback, almost a violent pullback all the way down to 40,500. And now where are we looking? Well, first things first, we look at this Kijin, right? It got flattened out a couple days ago, so that's what we look for. And then it was right on the level at 40,250, 40,500. I was watching that with really gazing eyes, just kind of watching where we go next. But we like to pull back to equilibrium. So when the market gets too hot, the market comes and says, okay, you know what? I'm gonna come back down a little bit, level off, and then I'll let you go higher. So that's likely what we're seeing right now. And the violent overkill of that pullback was very manipulated and it caused a lot of fear in the markets and mainly the liquidations. So yesterday, as you can see, CoinGlass says that $3 billion in open interest was wiped out. What that means is, and you can see on this chart here, it was mostly longs that got liquidated badly, but some shorts also got liquidated as well, because some people probably shorted the bottom of the wick that's right here, and as they shorted this and it came back up, they got liquidated. And these are usually highly leveraged positions. And what ended up happening is we had a cascading effect. That's exactly what happened. All the longs got liquidated super fast, and they just caused other longs to liquidate as well. If you guys really want to know a lot more about OI and trading tips, go watch this video right here, my 10 tips to becoming a professional trader. It will help you immensely so that you do not end up on the wrong side of the market. So there's two things to look for. One, that this level starts pulling back up and retesting like it did in the past before we got our partial boner candle. And then we got a reverse boner candle. I don't know what you'd call that, but basically that's what we'll call it today. So I'm looking to see if we come back up to the 44,300 level, but there's also a second thing that I've talked about on the channel before, and that's called a C-clamp. And basically, if we stay below this green line right here, and it stays flat, and we get something like this, which looks like a clamp. Usually you squeeze those on both sides when you're trying to, do woodwork or whatever. We call it that, that's why, but it pulls the price down again to those lower levels. So what we can actually see is it come back down to there before we reset yet again like we did in the past and start going back up towards 44. That's very likely. Now, could we go lower is a great question. Right now, the market is technically bullish. I want you to understand that when the market is technically bullish, you're more likely going to see the market come back up, retest, and try to break through, then fully break down. If we were going closer to the cloud or we went into the cloud, I would start getting worried. But right now we have a Tenkin much above the Kijin, a Kijin, kind of close by, so we kind of almost retested. So we've only reset the market. Now it's time to potentially wait to see where we start to go back up. And I would look to maybe, if we got to that level completely, buy personally around 40,300, 40,500. So if you missed it, we may come and retest that wick level. So that's where it's a great first area to click in and put in a buy. But remember, I did talk, we could also go down to 35,000 again at some point from there. So what is the take-home message for this video for all of you at home? So what am I looking at and why? First off, I'm looking at, are we gonna break up above 44K and go towards 48? If we do that, that would be the continuation that I'm looking for us, as you can see by this red level. But if we do the C-clamp and we start to get below the Kijin-sen, I would start to turn bearish. If we run into the cloud, meaning that we go from here and we go lower into the cloud, that would be a turbulent place for us in the market, and I would start reevaluating my position and thinking, are we going to turn bearish for a little while before we turn back bullish? That is absolutely something that could happen, so prepare yourself, because anything in crypto can happen, and you need to suspend your disbelief. This is why we chart, this is why it shows us the future, and this is why I'm so accurate at what I do. So again, to recap, we either start to break up, go towards 48, we break above 44.4, or we break down, we go below the Kijin, and we go into the cloud, and that is what I would be calling a red alert. So guys, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like and hit that bell so you don't miss any of the updates that I'm going to give you, because anytime major things are gonna happen, or even before they happen, I will remind you to take profit, to prepare, and so that you guys are ready for the future. Make sure you find us on the next one, and I'll see you guys soon.